Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Let's try that again. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. For those who don't know, my name is Al Bundy, and that's really my name. And I am the Executive Director of Institutional Advancement here at the college. But I personally, on behalf of our college president and the entire Essex County College family, we want to welcome you to this very special ceremony as we prepare for the arrival of His Majesty. For just a few minutes, I need you to just sit back, relax, and be at home with us. It is interesting to note that in our college history, we have had the good fortune to have not one, but two presidents of the college who hail from Ghana. Amen. The first one, no stranger to his long tenure here, was Dr. A. Zachary Yamba, who still serves as President Emeritus. He is here today welcoming the King, so you will see him shortly. And also our current president, Dr. Augustine Bowachi, was born in Kumasi in Ghana. I've had the great pleasure to visit Ghana not once, but twice. And each time I was welcomed by drummers and dancers welcoming me to the motherland. Let's hear it for the Amaha Cultural Group. They're going to be leaving the stage right now because we're getting ready to have the entrance of our king. So if y'all just want to go up that stairwell right there, okay? I see joining us now is the First Lady of the city of Newark, the mayor's wife, Miss Linda Baraka. Wave your hand, Linda. And certainly you will see our first gentleman of the city very soon. At this point, I'd like to introduce a gentleman who helped put all this together. He's moving. I'm getting ready to introduce the gentleman who helped put all of this together. He serves as the director of our Africana Institute, which he has done for the last 17 years. He is a distinguished sociology professor here. He's also the chair of our college's Social Justice Council. He is an author. He is certainly our crown prince here at Essex County College. Let's give a warm welcome. Let's show some affirmation and appreciation for Dr. Akyem Kafani. Dr. Kafani. Here he comes. Once again, let's hear it for Dr. Kafani.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I'm up in the wrong building. How are you all doing today? All right. Good to see you. Yes, indeed. I'm excited to be here. It's an amazing opportunity for us to come and celebrate. Are we celebrating? We're celebrating Essex County College. Celebrating Essex County College, and we're excited today. We're bringing to you, and as you can hear the drums in the back, you've already seen a little bit of it, but we're excited that this opportunity is looking back on the development of the Africana Institute. In 2021, the Africana Institute opened up, and we had the king from Ghana, another king, Asante Guinea. He was here to help to open it up. So now here we are again today, celebrating this fabulous occasion, and now we have the Akyem is going to be here to celebrate. So we have Osanjifo is getting ready to come down. So I'm going to ask everybody to stand up as he's coming down. And so we're excited that you're all here. Are you all excited to be here? Yes. Wait a minute. Are you all excited to be here? Yes. All right. Now I need to give him an Essex County College book. Can you do that for me when he gets inside? All right. So let him hear you from outside. Let's do a little applause again. So, as they get ready to come in the room, Let's give them, oh, I turned my mic on. Let's give them another round of applause, please. Thank you, thank you. So we're going to get this program started for today. Actually, it's already started. It's been beautiful so far. And I want to take this opportunity. The first thing we do in traditional African programs is we ask permission from the elders to begin our programs. And so we have the king here today, so we're going to defer to the king if we can begin the program. Sir? Thank you. So as we begin, we also have greetings from the local Ghanaian community. Is it okay if they come and greet you? Okay, please. And we have another guest, Prince Dennis is here from Benin, and he would also like to greet you. You see, some of you may not be used to this, but there's a lot of formality in our traditions and cultures. If you're in, doesn't matter if you're in Nigeria, Ghana, or the Congo, that we have lots of tradition, and that we sometimes reflect on other people having kings and queens and royalty, but we have plenty of them in the African continent who are, as we can see, alive and well and representing their people. And so we must look at our own selves to see what we bring to the table, to learn how to reflect upon that which we bring to the table and not just on what somebody else does. We oftentimes look for outside our own community. And then one of the things I said in the Africana Institute this morning is that sometimes we think that the distance between us is so great because of some people migrated here. Now, we sometimes get this confused. Some of us migrated here thousands of years before enslavement, and there's lots of evidence to talk about that. And so we want to think about those Africans who came here. And then there's another group who came through the enslavement process, but all of them who came with a variety of different cultures and histories. And so that we think that oftentimes that there's so much water between us that we have no connection. But what I said is that the land never ceases, so that the land underneath the water continues the connection, so that we're always connected. And if we just understand the connections that we have, that no matter how anyone tries to divide us or create divisions, that we have to understand ourselves that our long history continues to connect us. And I want to just thank Dr. Yamba for having the insight and the foresight to create the Africana Institute in 2001. Let's give him a round of applause. Dr. Yamba is right here. Also, I want to take this time to thank and honor Dr. Boachi, who has continued the legacy that came before him. He now is our current president, has been doing a valiant job leading this institution. Let's give him a round of applause. So as we are here, we're going to introduce and recognize other folks as we go throughout the day, but I want to take this time to invite up Dr. Boachi, who's going to give us a welcome now. Let's give Dr. Boachi a warm welcome, please.
Osajefo, Nananom, Honorable Mayor, Reverend Nana Suarez, Dr. A. Zachary Yamba, special guest, and our Essex County College family. I'm truly filled with joy to welcome His Majesty Osajefo Amotia Oforipanyi Ochenhene and his entourage to Essex County College, a college that serves students from more than 32 countries, including Ghana. Since his ascension to the throne of Akyem in 1999, Osajefo has never relented in his effort to promote education and change lives. I was therefore not surprised to receive a call that expressed his willingness to visit the college during his short trip to the United States. Osajefo, I must acknowledge that this college and the great city of Newark have embraced Ghana in the African diaspora for decades, and the result has always been positive. As a son of Ghana and the current president of this great institution, my work has become smoother because of the strong foundation laid by Dr. A. Zachary Yamba, who is also a Ghanaian and served the college as president for 30 years. Thank you, Dr. Yamba. Our great mayor, Honorable Ras Baraka, has Ghana in his heart. Not only that, we have hundreds of US citizens that are relocating to Ghana year after year. These connections, Osajefo, are not by accident, because we have a history and a rich culture to unveil and teach the next generation. We are therefore delighted to have you in our midst to share the historical and cultural narratives of Ghana, to advance the mission of ECC and essentially the Africana Institute, which was established 22 years ago, and finally, to enrich our African-American ancestral pride. On this note, Osajefo, I want to say thank you, and once again, welcome. Akwaba.
I want to also take this time to recognize the First Lady of the City of Newark. Ms. Baraka, we thank you for joining us here today with your lovely daughter. We want to also recognize Leisha DeFries, who's the Deputy Mayor for the City of Newark. Let's give her a round of applause as well. Also, I'd like to thank all the staff and faculty from Essex County College. If you're faculty or staff at Essex County College, please raise your hand so we all know who you are here. Lots of faculty and staff, and we're honored that they're here. Thank you so much. It takes a lot of people to make this happen. And, you know, if we look at the things that are going on in our society, it takes people who think forward and can assess things in ways that are not just on the surface, but that are deep, that help us to look at the problems, but not just talk about them, but to come up with solutions. And so we are going to invite somebody to the stage right now who is a champion in the city of Newark for looking at, addressing, and talking about problems, but developing solutions to those problems. So without further ado, I invite Mayor Ras Baraka to the stage, please.
Thank you. First, Asajifo, welcome. Akwaba, thank you for your presence here in Newark, in Essex County College. Dr. Yamba, thank you, Dr. Boache, and the work that you continue to do here as a colleague, a friend, as somebody that's educating the young people in this city. I thank you for the work that you do here every day. And obviously, Dr. Califani, who has a long history in this city of trying to educate and uplift and enrich not just the young people, but all of us culturally here in the city of Newark. I think this is a special occasion. One day Newark will understand why it's important for us to have Asajifo here with us today. Our culture is deep, it's long, and it goes beyond even the boundaries that they placed on us through the creation of these countries that we call Ghana and Nigeria and Liberia and Ivory Coast. We have a long relationship with West Africa, Africans in America and in the Caribbean. We have a long relationship with West Africa because our heritage began there. And we are here, most of us came here against our will as an act of history, but we are here now. And because we are here, our presence and our culture is felt in this community, and it is overpowering. And we have a huge Ghanaian population here in the city of Newark. Very large, very big population here in the city of Newark. So it's fitting that Asajifo comes to our city today as a representative of not just the people from the continent, but also a representative from people here in America who found refuge here in the great city of Newark, New Jersey. So again, Akwaba, welcome. Thank you for your presence here. And if there's anything, obviously, that we can do as representing 311,000 people here in the city of Newark, please do not hesitate to ask us, command us to do whatever it is that you need us to do. We're here at your call. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Baraka. We also would like to hear some words from, as the mayor said, there's a huge Ghanaian community here in the city of Newark, and also just in the Northeast. And so at this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Antwi Bosiako, former president of the Akyem Community Association of New Jersey.
Asajifo Chiame o, wede metre kwan na maka potoka sakakra. As custom demands, I have to ask permission to speak English. Asajifo, Nananum, honorable members, it is a privilege and honor to be part of this great celebration. As you heard, my name is Richard Bosiako, a member of the Akyem Association of New Jersey. The Akyem Association is made up of Ghanaians who came from the Akyem areas of Ghana. We, however, have members who are not native of Akyem. On behalf of the Akyem Association, I welcome Asajifo Amwetia Oforipenin and all who accompanied him on this trip to the great state of New Jersey, and to wish him a pleasant stay. It is not so often that we get such a distinguished guest. Previously, such a visit would have been to New York. This event is possible due to the hard work of several important people. We want to thank the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, who has made Newark truly home away from home to the Ghanaian community. We also thank the president of Essex County College, Dr. Boache, for his great hospitality. Essex County and Akyem people have a long history, going back to the days of Dr. Zachary Yamba. In fact, the Akyem Association was born in Essex County College. A final thank you is to everyone here for honoring the invitation to spend time with our noble king. Osajifo, we have heard and seen evidence of the great works at home. We pray for good health for you and long life to enable you to achieve what is in your heart. Nananom Ochimankuo is here to assist you in all your plans during this short visit. Thank you again, everybody. I hope you all enjoy our great culture.
Thank you very much. And now a longtime friend of Essex County College and of New Jersey, someone who has been doing tremendous work, not just as a reverend, but as a statesman here in the state of New Jersey and really around the globe. And so we have the honor of having with us here today Reverend Dr. Buster Soares. And so let us give him a round of applause. In fact, he was with us last week at the business conference here at Essex County College. So let's give him a warm welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Califani, to my friend and brother, the Ochehini of the Akyem Abuakwa Kingdom, to my friend and brother, the president of this great institution, Dr. Boachi, to our president emeritus, who has been a trailblazer for everything right in New Jersey, Dr. Yamba. He married one of my former classmates. Just to show how wise the man is. And of course, to Mayor Baraka and his lovely wife, Linda, it was in the late 1960s, after the assassination of Malcolm X, 1965, after the assassination of Martin Luther King in 1968, some young students from Montclair decided that we needed a different understanding of life. And there was one leader in our area who we believe could correct what Carter G. Woodson called our miseducation. We had grown up watching Tarzan, swinging through the trees of what was called the Dark Continent. And the animals seemed to be more civilized than the Africans. And so we came from Montclair to Newark, one block from here, 502 High Street. And we connected with one of the preeminent minds and creative authorities of who we were, Mr. Amiri Baraka. And it was the mayor's father who gave us the key to unlock many of the truths that we live today. It was Amiri Baraka who taught us a value system that insulated us against the onslaught of racism and brutality. And that value system was rooted and grounded in who we were as an African people. It was Amiri Baraka who taught us the value of land and whose theme for the political engagement was that the land was changing hands. What I want to say about Mayor Baraka is that for years, his father's vision was undermined by people who weren't serious about black power. And so we had a lot of black symbols. We had a lot of blacks emerge to positions and have titles. But I'm proud to have lived long enough to see the vision of Amiri Baraka manifest in Raz Baraka, because the fact is the land is changing hands. Thank you. The land is changing hands. There's a woman who's been working on this concept for over 30 years. And she recently wrote a book called Weathering the Extraordinary Stress of Ordinary Life in an Unjust Society. she uses the analogy of a bridge that's so old that after years and decades of wind and rain and snow, that the weather has really decimated the capacity of that bridge to stand. And in one instance, a person just drove by and saw that the bridge was up one day and down the next. And when the question was raised, what happened? There's no precise answer because it was an accumulation of conditions that caused that bridge to fall. And what this author argues is that if you've lived in the presence of injustice long enough, if you've gone shopping and asked to see an item only to have the person tell you how much it costs, if you've gotten queasy in your stomach when you saw the police lights flash because the police are pulling you over, if you felt personally wounded when reading about a young man who goes to pick up his younger brother and sister but went to the wrong house and got shot, if you've had any of these experiences, then even in the year 2023, you are experiencing a kind of stress that bridge was experiencing. It's hard to touch, but racism and injustice has been so perfected in this country that it functions like anthrax. You can't see it, but when you breathe it, it kills you. And each of us understands that injustice defines who we are. And when we gather like this, we see that we celebrate not only who we are, but who we have the potential to be. And so after having my mind liberated and having been invited to Africa, to West Africa, not Egypt, where I had been, not South Africa where I had been, but when I was invited to Ghana, this whole idea of injustice became so poignant for me because in many ways, when you visit Ghana, when you visit West Africa, your feelings of trauma and stress are exacerbated because you see all of the land, you see all of the natural resources. In the Akyem Abuakwa Kingdom, whose royal will speak to you in a few minutes, we've got gold, we've got diamonds. I visited the Cocoa Research Center and learned some years ago that Ghana produces the second largest quantity of cocoa in the world. But then Ghana has to export the cocoa, and then Ghanaians have to buy Swiss chocolate, even though they own the ground where the chocolate was grown. Ghana is rich with orange trees, but when a Ghanaian buys orange juice, they bought orange juice after the oranges were picked in Ghana, exported to be processed, and then sent back to Ghana. So Ghanaians have to buy foreign processed orange juice. And so what happens when you go there is the first thing you do is you get angrier than you were before. Because when you see the continuation of oppression and injustice, it exacerbates the weathering that you felt before you went. But I've also learned that Africa not only exacerbates it, it mitigates it. Because when you go to the palace in Chebby, which I'm nominating, by the way, to be a sister city with Newark. Nobody gave me permission, but I'm just nominating, you know. Since Newark likes sister cities, I think the seat of the Ochehini will be a great sister city. When you go to Chebby and you visit that palace, what you see is 7 centuries of unbroken succession for the person who sits on that stool. Long before King James wrote his Bible, long before Shakespeare wrote his poetry, long before Christopher Columbus got lost and ended up over here, and then took credit for discovering an occupied country. There was a stool in Chevy. There was a royal sitting on that stool. And there are records documenting the structure, the civilization, and the lives of people going all the way back to the 1300s in this kingdom, which predates the European lines that the mayor talked about cutting up Africa to the benefit of Europe. And so I have a plaque on my wall that gives the name and the dates of all 34 Ochahenes, kings, that sat on that stool, with this one being the 35th in the kingdom. So I'm grateful to God for our relationship. He is my friend, he is my brother, he is my king. I go back and forth to Ghana as often as possible, and depending on the outcome of the next presidential election, I might be moving to Ghana. I'm looking for some land just in case. And what I want you to know is that this particular royal, in large measure partnering with the Asantehene from the Ashantis, is forging a new style of traditional leadership. This king is not preoccupied with being showered by gifts and simply being served by his people. This king is responsible for economic development in the area around Chevy. This king has fought illegal miners from all over the world who come to the kingdom and mine for gold and mine for diamonds. They take it without permission, and then they leave the mines open so that people walking through the forest and through the grass end up dying to their death in these Galamsey mines. This king was the first traditional leader on the continent to be tested publicly for HIV/AIDS while the continent was being ravaged by that disease. This king has spoken truth to power and has advocated for education, for the environment, and for economic vitality. When you look at him, you see someone who just looks like other African royals, draped in gold, surrounded by a retinue of loyalists. But this king has distinguished himself as having an obligation that he believes came straight from God. He refuses to have multiple wives. In fact, this wife is his only wife. And although his refusal violates the tradition that he inherited, his loyalty to God and his respect for women has caused him to say, I will be the husband of one wife. Yeah. And so Africa, notwithstanding all of its contradictions, really gives us the mitigation that we need against all of this onslaught of oppression, because we see resilience, we see creativity, we see integrity, we see stature. And to be in the presence of this royal, it defies conventional wisdom, because in the news media today, if you hear the term the royal family, you know they're talking about Buckingham Palace. But we know that there are numerous royal families. And African royalty is continuing to carve out a future where Africa actually belongs to Africans. And so I was here when the Asantehene came in 2001, and this institution launched this African Institute. I'm here with my friend and brother from Chebby in 2023, declaring that no weapon formed against God's people can prosper. And under his leadership, not only do we celebrate the rich culture of the past, but we are investing in the hope that God gives us for the future. And I close by simply inviting you to join us. We take trips to Ghana every year, at least once. I told the First Lady that we go places that most people can't go when we get there because we got the king on our team. And then she pulls out a picture with her and the president of the country just to remind me who she is. But I thank all of you for your time. I want you to listen very carefully, because this is not only a celebration of culture, although it is. This is a declaration of hope, where Africans in Ghana, Africans in America, and those who are our allies and our friends will come together to ensure that our future will be better than our past, and that no suppression or oppression will hold us down. I like that old song that we used to sing when we started here, "Ain't no stopping us now." When you hear this king, and when you feel his passion, you will leave here believing, notwithstanding police brutality, notwithstanding the criminal justice injustices, notwithstanding all of what is happening every day of our lives, when you hear this man, you will leave here singing that song, "Ain't no stopping us now." God bless you.
I don't know, I feel like saying, "Ain't no stopping us now." Y'all know that song? That's right. So at this time, before we have Osajifo to address us, we're going to have a cultural display from the group that's going to be performing. Let's give them a round of applause and bring them to the stage. want to just welcome Dr. Yamba. He spoke in the Africana Institute, but I want to thank him for his remarks. He gave some great historical facts about the Africana Institute. So let us give Dr. Yamba another round of applause, please. So now we're here for the moment of the hour. We want to invite His Majesty to come and join us on here. He's going to speak from there, but Osajifo Amotia Ofori Pan Okeheni. So the floor is yours. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, you want to come here? Oh, okay. You don't need this microphone. Your mic is live.
Chairman, please be seated. That's how used to be the sound of the horn indicating the village that the king is about to speak. Yeah. That's how it used to be. It's still, that's how it's going to be. Yeah. President Champon Boachi. Yeah. Former President Dr. Yamba. Yeah. Our friend, the Mayor, Ras Baraka. Yeah. My friend and brother, spiritual leader, Pastor Solis. Yeah. And of course, the MC, Professor Kafani. Yeah. We're delighted to be here. I am. I used to be here. I used to live in East Orange, so I know Essex College. So I'm familiar with the area, and now I come here and the place has been transformed. Yeah. Ideas and leadership changes things. Yeah. I am again delighted to be here. Students and faculty members, permit me to express my pleasure of this invite. Every time I'm called to speak in front of college students and faculty, I'm humbled by the privilege and mindful of the history we have been seeing and experienced together. So I stand here to extend greetings from the people of Ghana and from the old kingdom of Akyem. The topic best be addressed in the context of the current governance arrangements in Ghana, although it has to have some historical perspective. Chieftaincy in Ghana has a long and rich history that dates back centuries before the arrival of the Europeans. In 1992 Constitution,
system of governance that seeks to balance their respective roles and responsibility. The Constitution recognizes the traditional authority of chiefs and provides for their participation in local governance and development.
Yeah.
The institution of chieftaincy has played a key role in the political, social, and economic development of Ghana,
Yeah.
and continues to be an important part of the country's cultural heritage. Chiefs played a significant role in the governance of our kingdom,
Yeah.
and were responsible for maintaining law and order, collecting taxes, and providing for the welfare of the people.
Yeah.
In pre-colonial times, many powerful states emerged in West Africa, and one of them, I'm proud to say, is Akyem.
Yeah.
These states were ruled a well-organized system which represented the people and created salutary atmosphere for the orderly development of communities as well as the security of the state.
Yeah.
During the colonial era, the British and other European powers sought to undermine the power of traditional authorities, including chiefs, in order to establish their own authority in the region.
Yeah.
However, despite these efforts, chieftaincy remained an important part of Ghana and the Ghanaian society, and played a key role in the struggle for independence.
Yeah.
So chiefs played serious parts in having Ghana attain its independence. After independence, chieftaincy was recognized as an important part of Ghana's cultural heritage and was enshrined in the country's constitution.
Yeah.
But once we told the British to leave, told them that, yes, it's time to get out of town.
Yeah.
Our former first president told Arden Clark, who was the governor, said, you go and tell the Queen that we're all right.
Yeah.
Then he further said something that resonated all across Africa. He said, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs.
Yeah.
And so you leave.
Yeah.
And they sure did. One thing that was made clear by the earlier African elite was when the white man was leaving, they told chiefs also to step aside.
Yeah.
And they said they are the ones who are educated by Western standards,
Yeah.
and they were better fit to run the country, so we should step aside. And we did. We discovered not too long after that in Africa that whilst we were driving European tyranny away, we were replacing that with African native tyranny.
Yeah.
There's some similarities with what we see here in America. I thought the world had seen George Floyd. And the immediate thing that comes to mind was some white man who hated black folk
Yeah.
was just strangling this guy to death. Before we could even get over,
Yeah.
we had Memphis. Black policeman, black. So as Pastor was saying, the African is not a shade of your complexion.
Yeah.
It's a state of mind. It's a state of mind, and evil does not know color.
Yeah.
Right after independence, Africa struggled because leaders who were Africans, who were ushered in by Africans, were doing things that the white folks never did.
Yeah.
But something pricked them, and we came around and we said, enough is enough. So in 1992, we decided to lay it all out and stop all the bleeding and all the torture and all the uncertainty, to get our people to understand that we will have to control our government
Yeah.
by our people. So they did. The goal for Europeans was just to come and conquer and dominate the earth.
Yeah.
So when they came and saw Africans who were not ready to take their system of land ownership, they called them primitive.
Yeah.
When they didn't share their land ownership idea, again, they were not smart enough. Our forebears had no desire to place the source of our survival, our natural resources,
Yeah.
into stream of commerce, because they believed that the resources were their sacred heritage. They were viewed as ignorant.
Yeah.
And because the ancestors' value system was based on relationship and not currency, they were believed to lack the capacity to live civilized lives. That was the white folks' legacy. And the indigenous knowledge is what kept us going.
Yeah.
These guys had not been in a classroom before, but they understood that the large trees in the forest must not be felled.
Yeah.
They didn't know photosynthesis, but somehow they knew that the tree had the purpose of holding on to carbon dioxide,
Yeah.
so we can regulate the temperature on Earth. These ancestors knew that you could not mess with the soil where your food grows up.
Yeah.
They didn't put pesticides in the soil. They knew that water was so important that the society knew that no one should farm 300 feet close to the riverbanks.
Yeah.
And they lived. They lived with less degenerative diseases. They lived well until modern society came on and said, well, we're going to be felling trees for timber.
Yeah.
And we're going to slaughter animals for food. And we're going to put submarines in your rivers and seas and kill all the fish and all the aqua life in the rivers.
Yeah.
We're going to eat meat that we're not supposed to eat. They knew what they did. They came in and tore young Africans from their villages, packed them into wretched slave ships,
Yeah.
and sold them into slavery. Not only that, they sucked the economic blood from the continent through exploitation and extractive methods.
Yeah.
They fostered war and peddled lethal weapons, used nations and peoples as pawns in deadly real-life war games. That is the legacy of the West. The question looms now, what is our legacy?
Yeah.
They're gone. We fought for independence. What are we doing? We got our countries in our hand. We have sovereignty.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Are we going to go back and now remember how our ancestors lived and try to give some powers to kings and queens? Are we going to come and see the way they did when a decentralized system, where they said that when you decentralize systems, there's more transparency and accountability. There's dignity of voice. And there's ownership.
Yeah.
You can't do anything if you don't own your resources. You cannot be any sovereign nation when your resources are being controlled by somebody else.
Yeah.
And so on our part, we try to tell our government, and I think they're going to hear,
Yeah.
that the people who live in the location where they are should have the resources that belongs to them to manage.
Yeah.
So leadership calls for us to change some of the things that we used to have.
Yeah.
And change must come. And the change coming is not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah.
Neither is it going to be for those who are unwilling to make hard choices.
Yeah.
We need to make hard choices
Yeah.
if we're going to prepare for a better future for our children.
Yeah.
And so when you see, as Pastor said, we are kings, but we have no budget.
Yeah.
But we have some authority and we are influential
Yeah.
because the people who are our citizens won't have it any other way. They need to have their kings speak.
Yeah.
And I do speak. I mean, if you took my resources
Yeah.
and took my laws and took my police and take my resources, call me a landlord, but I don't own the things that are under my land and the thing that's on top of the land.
Yeah.
Only thing got left is speak,
Yeah.
and that I do. The right to speak and communicate ideas.
Yeah.
And as you know, speaking changes things. It was speaking at the Lincoln Memorial, Luther King, I Have the Dream speech, changed things.
Yeah.
It was speaking in the courtroom in South Africa when Mandela refused the white folks there.
Yeah.
It changed things. It was speaking that made Dr. Kwame Nkrumah made the statement of the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. It changed things.
Yeah.
So we're going to speak. We're going to speak until somebody listens. But we're not going to give up who we are. The clothes I'm wearing, these guys who came with me show that we have a culture,
Yeah.
that we came from someplace.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you could be diverse.
Yeah.
We speak a different language, we may look different, we may come from a different place,
Yeah.
but we know now that the world is one, as one human family.
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, just remember COVID.
Yeah.
Somebody in China ate their protein and the world got sick. And the amazing thing about that, when we got sick, the most sophisticated countries, the most advanced,
Yeah.
the most medical advanced country
Yeah.
could not stop it.
Yeah.
We couldn't shake hands anymore. We couldn't smile anymore.
Yeah.
We couldn't hug our family anymore. We couldn't eat together.
Yeah.
Our people were dying and we were not funeralizing them.
Yeah.
And for black folks, Africans, funeral is such a big deal. One protein,
Yeah.
because somebody decided not to respect nature.
Yeah.
Our forebears respected nature. There was a rule of nature which they respected.
Yeah.
That God gave us all these things to live by. Wanted us to live by in harmony and not to destroy or dominate them. We came from a background where we're matrilineal.
Yeah.
And in matrilineal societies, cooperation is the key.
Yeah.
Patriarchal societies, control and competition. And so we'd like to think that if you go back and see how our forebears used to live, maybe we would not have the climate crisis we have now.
Yeah.
Maybe. And in living and doing what we've done, we have created about 3 billion people who are poor. And like Pastor said,
Yeah.
there was a t-shirt we wore when we were fighting for apartheid. Apartheid, you gotta be in it to know it. You have to know the poverty that prevails in Africa to understand poverty.
Yeah.
The poverty you have here, yes, is poverty within opportunity.
Yeah.
The poverty we have back there is poverty without options.
Yeah.
In that poverty, when it rains, you get wet.
Yeah.
When your stomach hurts, you're hungry and you may starve to death.
Yeah.
When you're sick, you die.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing that the people cannot change it, they cannot fight it, and they cannot help it.
Yeah.
And the rest of the world, watch. I mean, if you see a woman whose baby lay on their lap and flies all over the baby's face, cannot get milk from an empty breast, and the mother cries out for death to come to their rescue, you know we're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's how the poverty is in Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy who was at the 14th Street area, who is a wino, has access to wealth
Yeah.
in a week that 2 billion people have in a year. That's the difference. So our job is to tell our government
Yeah.
to find a way to come to rural Ghana. Because for me, the source of poverty has been location, the geography of birth. Why should Africa have the richest continent on the face of the earth and still have the enviable position as the headquarters of poverty?
Yeah.
Location. And in Africa, rural Africa, location, no opportunity, no hope, like Pastor said. Hope, by the way, is not a commodity that enjoyed by only the elite. Poor folks also need hope.
Yeah.
We need hope to live. But all of that will come when we make investment in education.
Yeah.
Our leaders should make all the investment in education. Our government right now has a free SHS program where poverty will not be a bar to anybody going to secondary school in Ghana.
Yeah.
And so that's a good thing. But we got to go beyond that. We need to make investment in science and technology
Yeah.
to be competitive in the world. We need to educate our folks. Because those countries who have made impressive strides in their social economic development have done so not because of what they have. It's always because of what they know, the knowledge,
Yeah.
the education, the ideas. That's why Singapore and Malaysia are way ahead. And so we come to you today knowing that you've a great opportunity here in this campus.
Yeah.
We're not here coming for charity. We're here asking you to collaborate, get some of your experiences, partner with you in a sustained international solidarity for our people. But we cannot do that to grow if we leave our women behind. The oppression of women is the oldest oppression in the world. Female children in the world enter a world that is best prejudiced against them and at worst dangerously hostile. In some societies, their bodies are mutilated by female genital circumcisions. They, women, are traditionally denied participation in the management and control of the development process. We must make real our declared commitment by enabling women to participate in the phases of development and at all levels of management. It is known in societies that when women advance, when women are educated, when they have equal rights, society thrives. And women are educated, they're likely to have less children, and their children will be educated for employment and for human capital societies. If you take Northern Europe, the women are well off and they are supported by their systems, and Northern Europe has women who have done so well. Next is our children. Women are the ones who bring children up here. And let me just say this. If you haven't been to a theater, a doctor's place where a woman is delivering a child, those of you who are young and getting married and try and watch. It'll change you. The divine technology of the process they go through. When a child enters this world, they come helpless. They are powerless. And they're innocent. They're dependent on us. For their survival. How dare we allow a 5-year-old to die because they have no money for medicine for malaria at age 5? Our children are wandering around with no education. If we're going to have a world that's secure, we must make sure that our children are taken care of. And to just make it short, I told you I speak and I am not going to be silent in front of evil and be passive in front of evil. But one thing that I know is JFK said it, that this is time for us, whatever we do, to put our future on hold and start thinking about the future of our children's children. To create change that could be lasting, to build a new world that could sustain itself and yet protect its valuable natural resource. Kennedy, 1960. I thought last time when I held my granddaughter, 4 months old, 3 months old, right, Liz? I thought about her. I looked at myself, I'm 72 years old, and I'm thinking, she has 71 years to get to my age. What type of world are we living for? What type of opportunities are we going to create for her? I thought about that, and it inspires me to continue to speak. And I know sometimes My voice gets a little lonely. Sometimes it's rejected. Sometimes it's unpopular.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's misunderstood. But again, I'm going to speak.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you know what? You become a guilty bystander.
Yeah.
If you see evil, poverty is evil.
Yeah.
Poverty is evil. God did not make us live in a rich continent and have our children die of hunger. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So, whilst we hold this as royal, as we have this platform, I'll tell you what, Pastor knows it. Yes, I may have been born royal,
Yeah.
or may have been born noble, but I want to be remembered nobly
Yeah.
by the deeds that we do to help mankind. And Mr. President, I thank you for the things that you've done here. Going back to Professor Yamba,
Yeah.
to building this university college the way it is. Because I'm impressed how people have remembered to change Newark.
Yeah.
Newark. It is somebody's idea. Somebody's went to sleep
Yeah.
and thought about doing this. But those men who came to do this will not be remembered for their degrees that they hold,
Yeah.
for the houses they live in, for the cars they drive. They will be remembered that they too helped save a child in Newark. And
Yeah.
that's the greatest accomplishment that you can have.
Yeah.
I thank you, God. Bless you.
Let's give him another round of applause, please.
On behalf of our Board of Trustees and the college community, once again, I want to thank you, Osagie, for sharing this special message with us, and also to inspire us to become more powerful in what we do. As I said, with you, we understand that there is unity, and there's love, and there's progress, and we will continue to build on the good things that you have been doing, not only for Ghana, but also beyond. Whilst Osagie is here, on behalf of the college, we have a small gift that we would like to present to Osagie. So thank you once again, and we will continue to partner with you to build a stronger institution. On behalf of also everybody here, I want to thank all the dignitaries that are here, and also to you. I think we can leave here understanding that we are all one, and the only way we can continue to become stronger is to understand one another, not because of any other thing, but because we are created to be so. And therefore, thank you, and thank you, and thank you for being part of this ceremony. Please, until Osagie leaves, we'll continue to remain seated. The last part of it is the plaque that we have here, and I want Professor Kafani to read the message that we have. It's a very beautiful one for Osagie.
Okay, this is presented to His Majesty Osagie Amotia Ofori Pan Akihene, in recognition of your esteemed visit to Essex County College to share the historical, cultural narratives of the Akyem Abuaka state of Ghana. to advance the mission of the Africana Institute and to enrich African American ancestral pride. From Essex County College Board of Trustees, Dr. Augustine A. Boachi, President, and Essex County College Family and Community. Today on April the 21st, 2003, in the city of Newark. Our Queen Mother, the wife of Asante Henny, thank you. Akyem Henny, thank you very much. We also have some flowers for the First Lady, Ms. Linda Baraka. Thank her very much as well.
Good afternoon. On behalf of His Majesty and the team, I'm going to invite our Honorable First Lady, Nana Asabia, to make this presentation to Essex County College. First, she will be presenting a copy of the book, The Royal Akyem Kingdom of Ghana. This book relates the history, the culture of the people of Akyem Ebuakwa.
And the whole school.
It's the same thing.
That's also presented as an additional presentation to the school library. Thank you very much.
A little bit about the mask.
About the mask.
Yes. A little bit about the mask. The symbol on the mask is a sword. It's the traditional sword. It is a symbol of royalty. It's a symbol of authority, and it represents leadership. Today, Essex County is a leader among the colleges in the United States for being the first to host His Majesty Osagyefo Amoitia Oforipening Ochehene to a traditional Durbar on your school campus. Thank you.
Now, we are going to bring this program to a close now, and as we are going to process out, I ask everyone to please stand. So as we stand before they proceed out, I ask everyone to let's give a round of applause to all of our speakers and the dais and the drummers and dancers. Let's give them a round of applause.